Beautiful children of God. It's practical faith time. It's a daily devotion. And this is just brilliant. I am busy laughing at this because a lot of times we don't see this. Especially when we get hard-headed. You know what happens when you don't want to listen to other people? When you think, no, I'm doing it my way. It's this way. That's the way I'm going to do it. I think what Frank Sinatra once sung, I'm going to do it my way. And doesn't that lead us to a lot of trouble? Doesn't it hurt all the people around us? Because as soon as we want to do it our way, and it becomes a selfishness, it becomes pridefulness, it becomes arrogant. We become so arrogant, and we have this arrogance in us that is, no, I want to do it my way. I don't know what point we want to prove. And it's to the detriment of the people around us. A lot of times, the decisions I make affects those around us. A lot of times we don't see, we say, no, it's my way, and I made this choice, and I will live with it. Yes, but there's people who rely on you. There's people around you. There's people who love you. And some people, unfortunately, will get the short end of the stick because of your decisions. Now, this is one thing, a message I want to get, because we always read of Moses and Aaron and what the Lord does in them. But I want to focus a bit on Pharaoh. Because his heart is so hardened. And I've seen this, I've seen this a few times. And this is where my heart gets so sore. When you see a person in the family, a father, go on his ways, and he doesn't see the hurt he's causing the people around him, or the mother forever giving in. Whatever the situation is, but it hurts the family around them because she just wants to do what she wants to do, and I'm free, and I'm this, and I can be anything I want. Yes, you can, but within the limits of the word. What the Lord tells you, and then we're trying to live this free life, and I'm going to do what I want to. But so many times it hurts the people around us. And that is just what I want to get out today. Think about the people around you every time you make a decision. It's not always about me, myself, and I. You see, God will bless you. You do the right things, God will bless you. Sometimes God will tell you say yes. Other times He'll tell you say no. Depends on the situation. But think of those around you, especially if you've got family. You might be single. You might be looking after yourself. You might not rely on anyone, paying your own rent, paying your own car, feeding yourself, looking after yourself. That's fine. But you must remember there's people around you, people you work for, maybe people work for you. The decisions that you make affects people around us because we are not made to live in this world isolated, alone, and just by ourselves, because otherwise the world wouldn't be where we are today. We all need each other. We all fit into each other's world somehow. We fit like this piece of the puzzle. I connect to you and you connect to the next person. But you see how we're all connected to each other. And this is where Pharaoh gets it so wrong. Because, if you go read Exodus from verse 14 all the way till verse, 24. You see that the first plague comes on where where Aaron hits the staff against the Nile River and it turns into blood and everything dies. Everything dies. And this is what caught me, and this is what made my heart so sore. It says in verse 22, but the Egyptian magicians did the same thing by their secret arts, and Pharaoh's heart became hard. He would not listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord said. Instead, he turned and he went into his palace and did not even take this to heart. Verse 24, and all the Egyptians dug along the Nile to get drinking water because they could not drink the water of the river. Because of his hard heart. He didn't think of his people, and his people were suffering. Yes, he was in a privileged position, but his people were suffering. Everyone was suffering around him because of his terrible mistakes, his terrible judgments, because he was so hardened in his heart. And if your family is suffering because you want to keep on drinking, or you doing this and everything's about you and they must jump when you say they must jump, maybe it's about time you start turning your heart. Because otherwise, you know what? Those decisions will lead even to even more disaster. And it's going to turn people away from you and not to you. And that's just my message today, guys. Think about it. And blessings.